I remember this time when my kid was like 1 or something, and she was in the bathroom, and I had stepped away for a minute, and when I came back, she had pulled all the toilet paper off the roll, and it was everywhere in the bathroom. And I lost my mind. I was angry, and I was yelling, and I was like, and when I would start to yell at my kid, I would always run out of the room because I didn't really want to yell at her. I ran out of the room, and I was like running all around. I buried my face in the pillow, and I couldn't believe the intensity of emotion that I had from her pulling out some toilet paper. For goodness sakes, it's toilet paper. But honestly, I lost it, and I couldn't control it. I was so angry. I was so frustrated, and it seemed personal. It's like she's doing it to me. Why is she doing this to me? Making my life so hard. It's so horrible. and, and after I calmed down from that, I was like, "Whoa, Vivek, I had no idea how triggering parenting can be." And another kid doing that probably would have triggered me a lot less, but somehow our own kids, like, it just can really get to us. It's the relationship, I don't know what it is, the closeness, I don't know, the consistency. But I really realized at that moment that there was some serious inner work that I needed to do to shift that pattern, because it was not going to go away by itself. And it wasn't the toilet paper. The toilet paper, that's why they call it triggered. It triggered something in me, something that was pre-existing in me. And that stuff, it doesn't go away automatically. It doesn't go away easily. But it is something we can work with. That's why I say one of the most essential parts of non-coercive collaborative parenting is our own healing journey. It's not a light switch that turns on just because we know it, right? It's a long journey of continuous self-evaluation and self-compassion and working through stuff. And we all have different ways that work for us to work through stuff. I'm not going to recommend one modality over the other. Some people go to therapy, and then there's so many different kinds of therapy. Some people like to do tapping and yoga and meditation and journaling and talking to friends. And I like to dance. I get a lot of my thing out of dancing, but I do a lot of thinking. Like, I'll just spend like an hour thinking. Like, after I did that with my kid, I spent an hour and actually hours, because I would do it over days, just thinking about that. And what did it come from? And where did I feel it in my body? And what might have happened to me as a child? And on and on and on. I think about it. And I feel it so deeply because I want to understand and I want to make those shifts. So whatever it is, whatever works for you, figure it out and do it. Do some serious healing work. Because it's so easy for us to get triggered as parents, and then we leak that stuff out onto our kids, and that's not what we want to do. We know that's not what we want to do. So when you do that, first of all, forgive yourself. Have compassion and forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up for it. Or, like I used to say, beat yourself up for it once and then move on. Because beating yourself up for it is natural, but we don't want to keep doing that. We want to open our hearts and give ourselves the same grace that we give our kids, and then really learn from it, That's one thing that I did. It's not like I never made mistakes, but I reflected on them and I used them, deeply, deeply used them to change and to grow, to deepen my understanding, and to point to where I needed to heal and give myself love. Whenever I would act out of alignment, I rather than say make a mistake, I like to say act out of alignment. And whenever I would act out of alignment, yell at my kid, get upset, threaten or whatever I would do, because those, the first few years were chaos. As I had no idea what was coming, but whenever I would do that, I would slow down and I would really think and I would really learn from it. And honestly, doing that consistently over a couple of decades, you're going to learn a thing or two. You're going to grow a little bit, and your kid will value that consistent effort over the years. That's something that they're really going to care about. And so, if you have things like the toilet paper that really upset you, take the time to reflect on it. That evaluation is so important, and then you won't have a toilet paper emergency like that, or you'll lessen them at least. And that's the thing, right? We want progress, not perfection, but progress. And that progress is something. When my kid looks back on our lives, she's 26, right? She doesn't see perfection. She sees continuous effort, and that means the world to her. That's why we have such a close, trusting relationship. Not because I never made mistakes, but because I acknowledge them and I learn from them. And that's part of being a solid and reliable guide to our kids, which is why my free course is called Guiding Without Controlling. And it's a beautiful 40-minute video that you can watch in little bits. And it's at meaningfulideas.com. I'd love for you to go there and take advantage of that. And also, please follow me on all the spaces at Meaningful Ideas on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. And that's it, everybody. Peace out.